Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome of course. Today we're going to react to TikTok videos, mainly conspiracy videos. So let's get into it. And of course we want to help all the guys and girls that made the TikTok videos and go and support them. Click the likes on their videos because most of these guys put a lot of effort in making these TikToks. Believe me, I've tried it and it takes a lot of time, and I support all the guys on TikTok. So let's go for the video.
Alright, let's talk about the new music video from Lil Nas X. So it starts off in a land named Montero, hence the name of the song. Montero represents the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is a place that was talked about in the Bible, where the whole story of Adam and Eve is talked about. Then a snake comes up to Lil Nas X, just like the snake from the Garden of Eden. Lil Nas X then gets scared and runs away from the snake. Now anywhere he goes, he sees the same face, but he is the snake. And the snake comes up and starts seducing Lil Nas X, but it's really him seducing himself. So I guess it's now judgment time. And once again, it's Lil Nas X judging himself. He's locked in chains and then gets kicked out of Montero. He then begins to fly up, like he's ascending to heaven. But then a pole appears and he decides to go down. Now, as he slides down the pole, I'm assuming that he is entering hell. It's a very fiery, negative place. He looks like he's much more happier in this place. And then it shows this person in the chair, which I'm sure represents the devil. And he starts to get freaky with the devil. Lil Nas X starts giving him a lap dance. Lil Nas X then kills him. And then he takes his crown and sort of becomes the new devil. I ran out of time, so make sure y'all like and hit that follow button for part 4.
This is part 2 to the Cerelain, so go watch part 1 if you haven't already. Now this is why fans are called fans, because they are projecting their energy to the celebrity, whichever entity has taken over the celebrity. The entity gets to feel all the vibration. Him over here doing it.
Alright, y'all. I'm finna sell my soul. Ain't too long. Shit, what you say? Look at this bitch ass nigga, boy. Look at this.
Speak with me. They're expecting Sasha. I guess I would be very entertaining on the stage. So Sasha comes out and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me.
This picture is not what you think it is. Right now it looks like a normal photo, but once you flip your phone, it's gonna look pretty different. Share this with a friend once you do it.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, guys, you have to do that. That's creepy. Ugh. Ooh, okay.
Alright, so TikTok removed my first video about the Lil Nas X Satan shoes. Not once, but twice. So I guess I gotta go at it with a different angle. I don't care what religion you in, there is an agenda to draw you away from source. And this agenda is mainly directed towards the youth. I've been saying this time and time again, if you want to control the future, you gotta start out by programming the youth. Because the youth is the future. Many celebrities are used as puppets to carry out the elite's agenda. What better way to distract the youth than to give them somebody that they can relate to and still be able to carry out your agenda while they're being manipulated, brainwashed, and conditioned to be just like these celebrities. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Their agenda is this. A lot of the youth has been listening and getting programmed and conditioned by this. So guess how they're going to live their lives? Next, we got Playboy Cardi. And who else? Lil Nas. Really don't even have to say nothing about this. How you go from hood to wearing satanic merch? Obviously you can see it's not a coincidence, y'all. For my queens, if you are older than 18 years old, then you should know how to maneuver around this matrix. Same with my kings, don't fall into their agenda. If you are not aware in 2021 that you are carrying out their agenda unconsciously.
Here's what your birthmark actually says about your past life. If you have freckles anywhere in your body, this indicates where you've been burned in your past life. It's there as a permanent reminder to not make the same mistake again. If you have a brown birthmark anywhere in your body, this indicates where you were shot dead in your past life. Every brown spot represents a bullet wound. If you have a birthmark on your ear, this means you were a genius in your past life and you probably have a high IQ. And if you have one on both ears, you were extremely rich in your past life and will most likely be successful in this one. If you have a mole on the side of your nose, this means you killed someone out of rage in your past life. But if you have one in the middle, this means you were involved in witchcraft in your past life and were hung because of it.
Warning, this is why you should not touch an old house. A woman recently bought an old house in a very remote area. She wanted to renovate the home and very Very quickly, she began tearing down the kitchen and ripping all the old wallpaper off. She claimed the wallpaper was extremely satisfying to rip off, like scabs of a sunburn. Very quickly, she noticed names and dates in places she was removing the wallpaper. One night, she was curious and spent hours Googling one of the names. She discovered they were missing people, and the dates they went missing matched what was written on the wall. She called the police, and when they arrived, they said, "Yep, it's human. What you were removing from the walls was not wallpaper."
So let's talk about this Lil Nas X video that just dropped. It's super demonic, super satanic, and the music industry is not even hiding it anymore. They're very bold. Two things here. Number one, they're after our younger generation, and Satan is after our younger generation. Number two, this is a shot at the church because we become so lukewarm, so watered down that the devil doesn't even care anymore. He's showing it in plain sight, and we're not even paying attention. So this is what we're here to do. We're here to expose the enemy, and I'm about to show the music video in parts. It's very explicit, so I'm just warning you. Go read the comments in this video on YouTube. You'll be very shocked to what they're praising.
Oh, okay. I should react to this video, right?
I can follow. I'm posting them all the parts.
Welcome to ridiculous stuff going on around the world right now that for some reason you just haven't heard about. Part 13. So we all remember the monoliths that were appearing all over the place in 2020, right? Well, now they are starting to appear in 2021 as well. This new monolith was found in southeastern Turkey, right next to a 12,000-year-old temple. The 10-foot tall metal monolith had an ancient Turkish script inscribed into it that said, "Look at the sky, you will see the moon." The strangest part of all of this is that right after the monolith was discovered, it was surrounded by armed military guards. The Turkish military was apparently protecting the monolith from any threats, whatever that means. And then 4 days after it was found, the monolith and the military that was protecting it were gone.
I'd like to call the world this secret conclave of America's media empires. We are here to come up with the next holy crisis to put Americans back where they belong. Dark rooms glued to their televisions, too terrified to see commercials. Well, I think in BC you are here to listen and not speak.
Oh.
I think we should go with a good old-fashioned public health scare. A new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time. Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves. He loves being that guy. But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public. We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested. Get over here, NBC. Well, we certainly believe in testing.
Part 1 blew up and a lot of you wanted me to post the rest of the video, so here it is.
Now, back in the 30s, FDR made a deal with these reptilians to exchange people for technology. That was the basis of the New Deal. But ever since, they've been slowly replacing all the world leaders to create a nuclear holocaust to make global warming real for their takeover. That's how they made up the Cold War, by sending light into space to bite Neil Armstrong while Cooper was faking the moon landing. Now they're using satellite waves, contrails, and measles vaccines as mind control, and fluoridating the water to keep people's gold fillings intact so they can be sent back to, you guessed it, the Federal Reserve, where all the gold and birth certificates are stored by the real puppet master, the world monarch, who is himself only the servant of the all-seeing eye who controls everything in the world. I was wrong. You do win.
They're openly disclosing their agenda, yet people still refuse to believe. They're evil draconians and their time is up. If you want to learn more about them, follow me on Instagram and I'll send you some links. Peace.
If I told you giants existed and probably still do, would you believe me? It seems like when bringing up the history of giants and other mystical creatures, people think you sound crazy until you give them further evidence and deprogram them. And I'm pretty doggone sure you remember David and Goliath. This might even be the first giants to ever exist. Oh, and let's not forget about Nephilims. These were giants or fallen angels as well. These Nephilims came to Earth through the thin space of the physical and the spiritual, and they did the do with humans. Without consent, by the way. So the theory that giants have existed and maybe still do exist is true. Look at this deity compared to this lion. These were giants back then. Look how big this lion is. Not only that, this guy is standing next to a footprint. He's standing next to it. Here's some more proof. Oh, and the theory of humans having superpowers can also be true. I'm sure y'all heard about the Bible character Samson. He's one of my favorites, by the way. Through his dreads, he was given the power of strength. Samson was a Hebrew Israelite as well. Ain't gonna say too much, but grow some dreads, y'all. Giants and other mythical things can't exist, y'all.
Voodoo Queen in New Orleans.
Beyonce.
Y'all just knew about African spirituality and culture. You would know that a voodoo queen is considered a mambo. And not only do Beyonce want to be a mambo, she want to be a mumbling mambo. It says she likes to sacrifice cats and spit rats. Y'all want to act like Beyonce is the only witch in Hollywood when Angela Bassett been 30 years old for the past 60 years. Hell, Madam C.J. Walker is still walking amongst us, and y'all don't see this shit? Y'all really believe Cardi B got rich overnight?
Doesn't look like Cardi.
Cardi B been grinding ever since the early 1900s, and she's the one that turned Offset into a vampire. Now, I've been over here struggling with this Hennessy bottle, but I got it open now. Like I told y'all, we don't gossip over here. We don't spill tea. We spill Hennessy. And I'm about to pour a whole pint of Hennessy all over your areolas. Remember when Kanye West went on TMZ and he said he had to get liposuction because people...
So this video might get taken down, but I don't give a fuck. I'm about to expose Kamala Harris, bro. Starting off, the bitch is a liar.
This exchange happened.
What does Kamala Harris listen to? What were you listening to when you was high?
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac.
So if y'all don't know what that clip is, she was basically saying that she was smoking weed in college, right? And she said while she was in college, she was listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Keep that in mind. She was listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. So as you can see right here, in 1986, she went to Howard University. But peep, she said she was listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg in 1986. What? Snoop Dogg first song when they come out till 1992. Snoop Dogg wasn't even a thought in 1986. Tupac first song was in 1991. He was not even a thought in 1986. You might be asking yourself, why did she say that? Because she's trying to get y'all black niggas to relate to her.
Okay, here's some of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. Up first, we have The Human Centipede. This is not a recommendation.
Never seen
After
this
their
before.
car breaks down, they look for help and they end up getting trapped in a basement. I watched this movie in high school and I was absolutely disgusted. I can't believe they made 2 more movies. Next, we have Hard Candy. It's about a photographer who meets a little girl online, but he messes with the wrong girl. Don't get me wrong, this is a good revenge movie, but there are certain scenes that you need a stomach for. It's overall pretty messed up. Next, we have a Serbian film. This is not a recommendation. Do not ever watch this movie. This takes the cake for being one of the most messed up movies I have ever seen. I regret ever knowing about this movie. And last but not least, The Skin I Live In. It's about a scientist who tries to synthesize the perfect skin. This one's actually a great movie, but the overall story is messed up. It really makes you question things. Unbelievable.
Now the Egyptians call their land Kemet, and they use a piece of charcoal, a burnt piece of wood as charcoal, to symbolize what they mean. The blackest black. And all of their carvings of themselves, they paint their skins dark brown or black. They have white paint, red paint, yellow paint, but they paint themselves black. How anyone in the world, with so much information available for the public to see, could even be under any illusions that the Egyptians even light skin?
Just when you look at climate and weather.
Facts.
If you go to Egypt, you will notice that the weather is quite hot. And you will notice that it is almost impossible to be able to be outside dressed the way the carvings on the walls are as it relates to the people. Because you would get melanoma before we even knew melanoma existed. So they could not have been depigmented or less pigmented. They have
Right. 2021 just got even crazier. Seriously, everyone has been freaking out over this video that has surfaced the internet. Watch this creature down here kind of transform into a squid-like figure. Okay, next, does everybody remember those mysterious monoliths that were popping up everywhere in 2020? You can't forget The Simpsons predicted this. Well, one was actually just found in Turkey, and it's strangely being guarded by military officers. Now, a lot of people have been saying they are feeling the same thing happening to them in 2021. Like, the days are flying by and the time is going so fast for everyone. Also, people are saying they keep seeing synchronized numbers. Also, everyone having bad Wi-Fi and internet problems. April 8th is an important date to put on your calendar because there is going to be a pink moon, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories about this. A car designed by Apple might be coming soon. It's said that Apple actually doesn't want to have any windows on their car, and you drive in a VR headset. So everyone in the car will be chilling like this.
Our TV show's secretly trying to help us. Take a look at
We'll
this.
see.
Every time a new baby is born, the Federal Reserve issues a secret birth certificate printed by a company called the American Bank. That way, the government can use people as currency to back the debt they have with the World Economic Forum, which owns the central banks of every nation on Earth. But the WEF is just a front for the Council on Foreign Relations, which masterminded the 9/11 attacks as a pretext to invade Iraq, take the oil, and install fast food chains to make people slow, fat, and easily abductible by the shape-shifting reptilian aliens they work with. Now, back in the 30s, FDR made a deal with these reptilians to exchange people for technology. That was the basis of the New Deal. But ever since, they've been slowly replacing all the world leaders to create a nuclear holocaust to make global warming real for their takeover.
There's more to that video, but I have a question for you. Are they using comedy to make the truth seem like a big conspiracy theory? Or is this their only way of getting the information out to help us beat the Matrix? Let me know what you think.
Alright, so TikTok removed my first video about the Lil Nas X Satan shoes. Not once, but twice. So I guess I gotta go at it with a different angle. I don't care what religion you in, there is an agenda to draw you away from source. And this agenda is mainly directed towards the youth. I've been saying this time and time again, if you want to control the future, you gotta start out by programming the youth. Because the youth is the future. Many celebrities are used as puppets to carry out the elite's agenda. What better way to distract the youth than to give them somebody that they can relate to and still be able to carry out your agenda while they're being manipulated, brainwashed, and conditioned to be just like these celebrities. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Their agenda is this. A lot of the youth has been listening and getting programmed and conditioned by this. So guess how they're going to live their lives. Next, we got Playboy Cardi. And who else? Lil Nas. Really don't even have to say nothing about this. How you go from hood to wearing satanic merch? Obviously you can see it's not a coincidence, y'all. For my queens, if you are older than 18 years old, then you should know how to maneuver around this matrix. Same with my kings, don't fall into their agenda. If you are not aware in 2021 that you are carrying out their agenda unconsciously.
This is a part 2 to my brothers and sisters in the Catholic faith. Please wake up. What's up, guys? It's Calvin. That's the more content like this to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Straight to it. This is the next Pope. Satanic hand sign. Ancient art. Satanic hand sign. I wouldn't recommend reading it, but these are satanic hand signs. And this is the name of the book. Famous people using these satanic hand signs over time. Here's a satanic person using that same hand sign. It's a very sad story. I'm not going to go into it. Here's a Baphomet using that hand sign. Here's a satanic high priest, Anton LaVey, using that satanic hand sign. The Beatles using satanic hand signs. Look at John Lennon. Ancient art of a false Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
With these satanic hand signs. Stay with me. And here's an ex-pope with an upside inverted cross on his chair. And look at the comparison to the Satan.
Spiritual Sam back in another Truth About the Microchip Part 2. And if y'all haven't, go check out Part 1. But let's get into it. This microchip is already being tested out in Sweden. People are already receiving this chip in their hand. Let's get into the video.
Thousands of people in Sweden have opted to trade in their ID and credit cards for tiny microchips implanted underneath their skin. The chips, which use near-field communication technology, take the place of key cards, real cards, and credit cards. The chips are typically the size of a grain of rice and are implanted just under the skin between the thumb and forefinger. So many Swedes are lining up to get the microchips that the country's main chipping company says it can't keep up with the number of requests.
This one's for all my melanated people. Why do you think they want you to do this? Why do they think they want you to be like this? Why do you think they want you to do this, smoke GMO weed? Or be like this, and be like this, and be like this, and give you this, until God destroyed Egypt, which makes you believe that these people were evil, and this is evil. And opening your third eye is evil, which really connects you to the real God. And 666 is evil, but 666 is the same number of the protons, electrons, and neutrons in carbon, which makes up melanin.
Oh!
Who would tell us that our melanin is evil?
Didn't know that.
Because they don't know that you are truly divine and that you are the real God. Look at her hair. Kind of looks like this, huh? Even this little boy knows that he is the manifestation of nature. And the moral of the story was to show the indoctrination and programming that we've been receiving for about the last 2,000 years. And that we will always be slaves if we don't break out of what we've been taught. Because they don't want us to know our real place on this planet and the universe. God.
On behalf of Amy, I'd like to thank the devil. What? All the dark lords who gave her this award, allowed her to feast on the flesh of the innocent.
Thanks, everyone.
In a sense, you're just selling your life away in exchange for riches and fame. Let me give you guys an example. Let's say I sold my soul. PSA, I never would, and I never will. I'm just using myself as an analogy. So, you know, some big record label hits me up, and they give me a contract. Basically, in this contract, they give me everything I want. You know, money, the best cars, the biggest mansion. But in exchange, they own me. They can tell me what to do, and I have to do it, no matter what it is. I'm literally a puppet now, and I'm used to push agendas in this matrix. They decide whatever music I put out. They decide all my music videos. They decide what I post on social media. They can use me to push out fake news. They can literally say I shot somebody in the foot even though I didn't shoot them. Yep. And y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. But anyways, not every celebrity sold their soul, but a lot of them did. And you can tell by how they act, you know, on social media and stuff. And a lot of them regret it. Like and follow for part 2.
What does it mean when this happens to you?
Oh, yeah, I've had that a few times.
Well, many doctors will tell you that this is a disorder called tinnitus. That's actually not very common, and it could be something completely different. The non-physical meaning of ringing in the ears is actually a sign of higher awareness and clairaudience, which means that you have the ability to hear things beyond ordinary perception. This means you're energetically sensitive and more aware of energetic shifts happening around you and within you. So what can you do with these abilities? Well, for one, you can tell when the vibe within yourself and the vibe in the room is changing. And you can even channel messages from your higher self or from angels or any other spiritual being. Ringing your left ear means your internal energies are shifting, while ringing your right ear means a spiritual being is trying to communicate with you. Use these 2 charts for your abilities.
Okay, chart. Well, this is the end of the video. Of course, press the thumbs up button, click the notification bell so you always know when I load up a new video. Subscribe to my channel, and of course share the video with all of your friends. And for now, it's goodbye, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.